Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. In this video, I installed the pinion and seal with good preload. Then I installed the carrier and checked backlash. Now the backlash is 12 thou. This is excessive. I pull the carrier and remove the bearings. Then I move a 4 thou shim from right to left. This moves the crown gear closer to the pinion to reduce backlash. Then I reassemble and check. The result is good backlash and gear pattern. I will show all the details. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out. Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. Now that I've established pinion preload, backlash, and a good gear pattern, I know that the pinion depth is good, so I can begin assembling the rear axle for my Scout. Let's get to work. The first thing I'm going to do is put the drain plug in the housing. Tighten it up. I put a little tape on the threads to help it seal. That's pretty tight. Let's give this a little wipe here. Everything looks pretty good. I have the new pinion with the new bearings and the 54 thou shim pack that I had on it before. So I'm lubricating the splines, the bearing, and the gear with gear oil. Liberal amount of gear oil on here. You turn that bearing and some oil on the gear, right on the gear, so that every surface has lubricant on it, right? Now I'm inserting this into the case. This is the pinion seal. There's a spring inside the seal that helps keep the seal tight on the yoke. Here. I usually pack them with grease because they have a habit of popping off. But I don't want to put grease in with my new clutches for the power lock. So I packed it with Vaseline. And then I just put some Permatex aviation former gasket around the outside edge, because I've also seen these leak because of problems with the housing and different things. So anyway, that's done. That's ready to go. This is the outer pinion bearing. So I'm lubricating that, putting lots of oil on it. Now I can reach around the other side, hold the pinion in place, slip the bearing on, and I'm going to put the yoke on there, because if you remember, it doesn't go on there so easy. It needs a little help. Got a little tight on the shaft, that's all. So there now, that's on there a bit. Then I have this oil slinger here, right? And now I can install the new seal on here. And just tapping around gently. Just tapping this with a socket. There. I've lubricated the yoke with gear oil. Slip that on there. I put medium strength blue Loctite on there. Flat washer. New nut. Slowly tightening this up. So I'm going to try torquing that to 200 foot-pounds with my big torque wrench. There we go, 200 foot-pounds. So the pinion's torqued to 200 foot-pounds. The preload on this pinion, it's exactly what I want. I think the spec is 10 to 20 inch-pounds. That's perfect. I'm very, very happy with that. So I'm ready to install the carrier. I'm going to put a bit more lube on this pinion here. And I'm lubricating the crown gear everywhere. I'm going to have oil on all the gear contact surfaces. Alright. Now I'm lubing this side bearing. Flip it over. Lube the other side bearing. Before I install that, I'm going to have a little look. A little look in here. See the button. Now I'll flip it over. Have another look. A little look. You see here, the thrust button is in place. Pinion is free. I can turn it. So now I have to lift this up. So I'm putting it in place. The carrier in the housing. Going in. A little bit at a time. Nice tight fit. Okay. There's the caps. The lazy S goes to the lazy S. The standing S goes to the standing S. Plenty of blue Loctite on the bolts. 1, 2, 3. Just make sure by hand that these bolts are started properly. I'm going to run them in with my impact. Grab the pinion. We've got backlash. Make one complete revolution to make sure there's no binds or anything like that. Okay, looks good. Okay, torquing these to 60 foot-pounds. Final torque, 80 foot-pounds. So with everything assembled and torqued to specs, I'm checking my backlash. And I have 12 thousandths of an inch backlash. That's excessive. If I have too much backlash, that means I have to move the crown gear closer to the pinion. So I'm going to pull out the carrier, pull these two bearings off, take 2 thou from this side, put it on this side. Let's get to work. Just prying on this. It's coming out. I don't want it to go flying. A piece of plywood here. We'll just try So I'm going to try and pulling this side bearing off without damaging it. So I put the race on top of the bearing, 3/4 inch steel plate with a hole in it and 2 bolt holes. The bearing separator is under the bearing. And we've got 2 3/8 bolts holding this plate, holding the race down onto the cup, right? So I'm just going to try, first of all, with the small impact. Attention, fellow Scout enthusiasts. Thanks for watching. I hope that you're getting useful insights from my videos. If I can earn 1,000 subscribers, I will be able to create Scout videos for a long time. Please like and subscribe so that we can continue this journey for years to come. I will show all the details. Over and out. So I did the math, and to correct my 12th thou backlash, I need to move a 4th thou shim from the right hand side, or from the non-ring gear side to the ring gear side. So I've got the non-ring gear side off, and I've removed this shim. And this shim is, now I got 0.04. That's exactly what I want, is 0.04. So this 0.04, I'm going to put it on the other side. So now I can put this bearing back on, right? I'll heat that and put that bearing back on. But I won't lose my preload because I haven't really changed anything. If I take 4th thou out of this side and I put it in the other side, it won't affect how tight it is in the housing. So the next thing I have to do is mount this bearing. Okay, here's the hot bearing, preheated. It is 139. Okay, I'm going to drive this bearing on there right now. Going on there. Think she's home. Let's try sticking a feeler gauge in there. No. One more hit for good measure. Yep. Put the race on there. Turn that over. I'm going to pull this bearing off. Put this little impact on there. Here's the bearing. It's in good shape. There's a couple of little marks on the cage. We'll hit this bearing up. And here's the 4th thou off the other side going on here, which is going to move us over and fix our backlash. So I'm going to heat this bearing up. I'm driving the bearing on. Sounds like it's home. Let's check here. Can't get a feeler gauge in there. One more hit for good measure. Put the race on. Let it cool off a little bit. So now I'm ready to put the carrier back in the housing. Just going to put some gear oil on this bearing. Good bunch of gear oil on there. Just tip it over. Do the other side. Look in there. I can see those buttons. They're still in position. A little bit more oil on here. So I'm going to flip it over one more time. That's spinning nice and freely. Like that. And side here. The button's in place, spinning nicely. So I'm going to pop this back in there. I think I'll blow them out with the compressed air. Okay, see if we can set this in there. Go right here. Except I got my rag in there. There. Now, we're on our way in. It's going in. Nice and tight. That's what we want. Just pick that up. Give it a little turn. There's no bind. Put these caps on. The upright S goes with the upright S. I'm going to clean these bolts off. Lazy S goes with the lazy S. Just hitting these bolts with brake clean. Put the bolts in the hole. Blue Loctite. Get them started. One started. There's the blue Loctite. Get this other one started. That one's okay. That one's okay. Okay. Those are okay. Just run them in with the impact. Nothing tight or anything like that. Definitely less backlash. So I'm just going to continue and torque these. So I'm tightening these bolts in increments. Okay, final torque, 80 foot-pounds. There. 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 Give it one full revolution. Everything's good. No binds. I have the pinion down hard. Okay, here's my new Backlash. It's on 0. The spec in the book is 5 to 9 thou, right? And we have here 6.5 thou. So the spec is 5 to 9. So we're on the low end of the window. So we've got very little backlash, but enough. All right, Mike here. Because I moved shims from the right-hand carrier bearing to the left-hand carrier bearing, I want to check the gear pattern again. It was only 0.04 of an inch. It shouldn't make much difference, but I think it needs to be checked anyway. So hopefully this is the last time. So let's see if we can get a good gear pattern. So I'm turning the ring gear and spraying brake clean on the teeth. Hopefully some of it will go around and clean the pinion up a bit too. I want it to be nice and dry for the gear marking compound. Now I'll just spray it off with compressed air. Oh, I have to blow that some more yet. Okay, now I'm wiping each tooth individually with paper towel because they're not coming clean like I wanted. So turn that, just wipe everything. I have some packs of gear mounting compound left over from other axles. It may have dried out. So I'm going to see if I can get some out of here. And it's not really coming out of here, you see. So if I cut this package, I should be able to just open it right up. Oh, look at that. Look at all that lovely gear marking compound. But it's kind of lumpy. So I'm going to put it in this lid. See how lumpy it really is. And something worth knowing about this gear marking compound is it's compatible with gear oil. It mixes, it's designed so it can mix with gear oil and it won't hurt anything. So I'm putting 1 drop, okay, there it is. 1 drop of gear oil, right? So if you can't get every last little bit cleaned out of there after you've used it, it won't hurt anything. Right, I'm just going to try to mix this up. Seems not too bad. I'm going to mark 3 teeth. I'm going to do that in one more place. Just managing to use this stuff up. Now I've got my hand on the carrier to create a drag, right? I'm going to turn this all the way this way. And then all the way back again. And again. Back again. So you can see here on the drive side of the tooth, this is the toe, and this is the heel, and this is the root in the bottom, and this is the top, right? So it's almost touching the top, but it's not quite. It could be a slightly deeper, but I think it's fine. It's because the football, it's centered, right? Between the toe and the heel. And it's not excessive. It's not quite at the top. If you look over here where the contact point is, the contact is from here to here. I think this is a really good gear pattern. We'll just take a look at the other one because I did 2 of them. And once again, you can see here, it's not too high. I think it's just right. It's centered. So I'm just going to put the cover on there temporarily with 2 bolts loose just to keep the dust out till tomorrow. That's it for now. In conclusion, with good pinion preload, good backlash, and a good gear pattern, I now have the foundation for a working, long-lasting differential. In my next video, Rear Axle 9, I install the tapered axles and set the end play. I will show all the details. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.